Much of the information and anecdotes in the book could be new to you. Or, if you're someone who's consumed other material about James Gandolfini in The Sopranos, then the large majority of material will be something that you've seen, read, or heard before. When James Gandolfini was a student at Rutgers University, a girl that he knew, that he'd been dating for 2 years, died in a tragic car accident. Her name was Lynn Jacobson, and it really affected him and his decisions in terms of what to do with his life going forward.
I'd like to dedicate this in the memory of a girl I knew a long time ago who basically inadvertent, well, I can't even say the word. She made me want to be an actor. Her name was Lynn Jacobson.
James Gandolfini was not someone who relished being in the spotlight or being such a huge symbol of pop culture and prestige and fame. Prior to The Sopranos, Gandolfini had accepted the part as Sammy the Bull Gravano in the 1996 HBO movie Gotti, but then at the last minute, he backed out because he didn't want to play any more mafia guys.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I gotta know. Did you ever meet John Gotti?
The executive producer was furious, and he swore that he would blackball Gandolfini and that Gandolfini would never work in the film industry again, and he'd certainly never work for HBO.
Well, here's a rule you might remember. I'm the motherfucking one who calls the shots. And you better pay me the respect, or we're gonna have a problem. A bad one.
You know, he rang that bell the whole way home.
Besides his iconic role as Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini was known for several other standout performances. Some of his most notable roles were in the following films: True Romance, Get Shorty, The Mexican, The Man Who Wasn't There, In the Loop, Where the Wild Things Are, Zero Dark 30, and Enough Said, among others. A few actors on The Sopranos had worked with James Gandolfini in previous roles. Robert Funaro and James Gandolfini shared a deep and enduring friendship that began long before their time on The Sopranos. It goes back to their early acting days when they toured Europe together in a production of A Streetcar Named Desire. Fun fact, A Streetcar Named Desire was written by Tennessee Williams, not to be confused with the legendary Tennessee Moltisanti.
We go back a long way, Tom.
Yeah, we do. Believe that? Marriage, or any partnership for that matter, is a give and a take.
James Gandolfini married Marcy Wodarski in March 1999, and she gave birth to their son, Michael Gandolfini, on May 10th, 1999, only a month after The Sopranos aired its first season finale.
Maybe I'm looking for a way out.
You'll never leave your wife.
In February 2001, just a couple of weeks before the third season was set to debut, James Gandolfini left the marital home, and they soon divorced. While the first few seasons received glowing ratings and reviews, not so much at home for Gandolfini. But The Sopranos didn't always get such rave reviews. In fact, Season 4 took a lot of criticism. By mid-Season 4, the New York Post had declared the show monotonous, aimless, and deadly dull.
You're gonna take this family into the 21st century.
We're already in the 21st century, though, T.
Christopher, we're here to talk about your drug problem.
You know what Tony's gonna say?
Let him come up here and dig then.
Please. He's a heart attack waiting to happen.
That's no joke.
The way you fucking are, you're gonna have a heart attack by the time you're 50. Holy.
Another instance of art imitates life, or life imitates art, they have the intervention for Christopher, which led to his going to rehab, while there was an unsuccessful attempt to have one for James Gandolfini in real life. Christopher says the regularness of life was too hard for him or something. Imagine the lack of regularness that James Gandolfini dealt with every day of his life during this period of The Sopranos. But as far as I'm concerned, it shows even further the depth and complexity of this person who frequently beat himself up in many ways, who also had a golden heart and clearly a very unique talent. Prior to Gandolfini's second marriage to Deborah Lynn, he dated and was engaged to a woman named Laura Somoza, who actually died in 2020 from slipping into a swimming pool and hitting her head. Season 5 almost never happened, due to James Gandolfini holding firm during contract negotiations.
I'm the motherfucking one who calls the shots. And you better pay me the respect. Production
on Season 5 was scheduled to start on March 24th, but on March 12th, Variety reported that production still remained in peril, as HBO execs said negotiations with the series star James Gandolfini are, quote, dead.
It petered out.
It died on the vine.
It died on the vine.
But then things finally came through. Gandolfini met Deborah Lynn in 2006 when Lynn was working as a model and James Gandolfini was in LA filming a movie. They began dating and eventually got engaged in 2007. They tied the knot in 2008, and in 2012, they welcomed a daughter, Lillian Ruth Gandolfini. We all debate about what the cut to black means. Is Tony Soprano still alive? Is Tony Soprano dead? According to Jason Bailey, the author, during their first 2 weeks of work in a tiny office in Manhattan, cinematographer Alex Sakharov asked Chase, "So let's say this is a successful series. How are you going to end it?" Chase replied, "I have no idea, but I know that I'm going to cut to black. It just feels right." But they almost didn't go to Holston's for dinner that night. Just a week before the final scene at Holston's was scheduled to be shot, the Bloomfield Town Council barred the show from shooting there. They had bowed to pressure from the mayor and local Italian-American groups.
With all the poverty, starvation, ethnic cleansing, and generally horrible shit in this world, you devote your energies to the protection of the dignity of Connie Francis.
But the decision ended up being overturned, and the shoot was rescheduled. Something that I think about often is that this scene in Mayhem, and he's in his coma dream, and he's in front of this big White House, and Tony Blundetto tells him he needs to give him his briefcase and go inside, which I think essentially symbolizes going to the other side, stepping out of this current world. And we can also hear Meadows' voice in the background in the trees saying, "Don't go, Daddy, leave us." And it makes me think of Michael Gandolfini finding his father in the hotel room, it makes me think what was going on in James Gandolfini's mind at that time. Was he in his own little dream, sort of in between? Just like how you can rewatch a Sopranos episode 100 times, still pick up on something new, I feel like when it comes to reading this material and learning more about James Gandolfini, there's always more that I want to know, especially because of how quickly the show cut to black, as well as how Gandolfini's life was also cut too short. There will always be a void, this absence, this gap.
All right, but you gotta get over it.
I'll never get over it.
And I think it makes watching and rewatching The Sopranos all the more powerful too, because all of these things that we're trying to discover, it's almost like because of the fact that he's deceased, it's even more of a never-ending quest to discover whatever insight we can about him, whether it's Tony Soprano on the show or James Gandolfini in real life.
I'm 46 years old. I mean, who am I? Where am I going?
Join the club.
If you've read the book, I'd love to hear your thoughts or your general thoughts on James Gandolfini as a whole. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.